going to see the Kel'Thas again.
I hope so, man. I mean, probably not on this map. I don't think it's Kel'Thas's best map, but if we see like a rotation heavy map, like an Infernal Shrines, a Tomb of the Spider Queen, or Dragonshire, I definitely think Kel'Thas is really strong on all those maps since he has such good wave clear, you know, and that's really important.
All right, I think they're good to go. Yep. Grand final! Let's go, everybody! We got the Mushrooms against Sexyplok, 2 Korean teams to fight it out now in the best of 3 series here at the grand final. It was insane to see TAT drop down into the 3rd place decider, but Sexyplok, they pulled it off. They had a 2-0 victory over the favorites, and they are, I mean, at this point, obviously poised to go all the distance. With the Mushrooms on the other side, let's see if they can maybe change things a little bit and make this into a really spicy grand final. First of all, we're coming in with a ban on Imperius. But yeah, it's party time. I'm excited for this one. What do you think is going to happen here?
I mean, I'm really excited about it. I mean, I'm expecting to see, I mean, Imperius. I actually really like this Imperius man, right? Like, Kirisaku, I think, really impressed me in the last series that we watched of him.
Oh.
Wait, Azul?
That came out of nowhere.
That one came out of nowhere. It's kind of like the Kel'Thuzad that you were talking about, though. It makes me sad that I see a Zul'jin ban, because it would have been really fun. Like, they're banning Zul'jin because someone on this team is really good at Zul'jin and they don't want to play versus it. And I would have loved to see a really good Zul'jin.
It's one of those things where it's like, they know something I don't. So, yeah, it would have been cool to see a Zul'jin here. But I would have been very surprised if he gets dropped. But either way, maybe it hints at different things. I mean, something that sometimes, like, back in the days, there was such a thing as a bullshit ban, right? You don't want to ban anything because you want to have 2 strong options up at the front, so you ban something useless. I don't think that's what we're seeing here. But we had that in the European scene for a couple of weeks, and it was always annoying because as a caster, if they didn't ban something that was completely ridiculous, you had to look at it and you're like, okay, is that now a bullshit ban, or is that actually something that they're worried about? But we got the Stuko first pick again, so the priority in terms of supports at least is still there the way that we had it previously.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be curious to see if we like see an Ana follow-up here. Maybe even, I know people have been banning and prioritizing Lucio. I always think Greymane, Raynor, both really strong on this map. All right, so it is going to be Raynor and the Muradin. I mean, I think this is a really solid 1-2 rotation, but we saw Muradin get farmed the last game, and I think, you know, ow,
that's more like it though.
Scary.
But that's what we're talking about with the Nubarak, right? This is what we want to see. In Nubarak with the dive, Stukov with the follow-up. Like, months back, a year back, you had the Malfurion that came in, laying down the lawn. Now you have Stukov with the lurking arm, Greymane with the follow-up, hitting the bullet, just going for the throat here, whatever it is, just trying to execute the burst damage. If you have any kind of mage behind it, he can chip into. So this signals right from the get-go. We want to be aggressive, and we're going to bring the fight to you, and I like that.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, I think they have a really, really strong composition so far. Like Stukov, Anubarak, Greymane, they've got the CC, they've got the silence, they've got the burst. I think this Muradin is in for a long game, and you know, like he definitely is gonna have to play on his toes because he could easily just get one shot. And I mean, if they got something like a Li Ming to round out this composition, that would be terrifying.
That's actually what I was waiting for as well, the Li Ming to come in, and the question is just if Sexyplok maybe takes her away. If that's a pick where they are saying, okay, this is such a high priority right now, if we pick it, not only do we have the disintegrate to counterplay Cocoon, but we also take one of the biggest like burst shot heroes away from the opponent. Because if you come in with a combo after Nubarak stuns the target out and Stukov gets the lurking arm in, especially after his 13 lockdown, then you're looking also at Calamity. And here comes Lucio, first of all, so a good sound barrier could also be nice, but they go for Sonya together with Muradin. Good for the Immortal, I would say, but now Li Ming is open, and the question is just, are the Mushrooms going to take it?
Yeah, I mean, I worry for this Sonya's life, right? Assuming that the Greymane goes Curse Bullet, like they have a lot of one-shot potential for Sonya, and I think she just will have to play a bit careful here. Blaze gonna be the pickup as well as, I mean, I'd love to see the Li Ming. Okay,
honestly, that is just such a textbook draft. That's textbook right there. And especially this Nubarak and Blaze. We talked in the previous series a little bit after the Nubarak pick about the side lane, and I said Blaze would really fit that well with the bunker coming in. So this is a combo that you have seen just for years, even in HGC. This entire lineup is really just textbook HGC 2018 Korea style. So this is awesome. And we get an Arthas on the other side. All right, so now we have a triple front line here. Arthas going to try and control Greymane a bit. That's going to be interesting to see first and foremost. But yeah, big and heavy front line now. Only relying on Sonya. They didn't want to do that, and I can understand why. So we got Arthas chipping in. Battlefield of Eternity, ladies and gentlemen. Map number 1 in the grand final between Sexyplok and the Mushrooms.
Yeah, I mean, I like the Arthas pick, honestly, because I didn't love saying like Sonya on her own, but now they have that beefy front line that, you know, if a Nubrak goes in and they don't get a one-shot, the Nubrak's not getting out, right? Like Arthas is going to slow the Nubrak down. The Sonya is going to do the damage to actually kill the Nubrak. The one worrisome thing, I mean, I guess they have Raynor to do the race. Wow, their composition. Wow, because I was really favoring Mushroom's composition initially, but I actually think the Arthas kind of pulls it together. And I think they're going to have a really rough time before level 10. But I think once their Arthas gets ghouls, or maybe even Icebound Fortitude at 7, I think they'll be able to better survive that initial burst and then maybe be able to turn around. And, you know, if Greymane goes into melee form, it's going to be really difficult for him to get out.
Yeah, Arthas definitely was a good pick there for them to round it out. Game 1, Sexyplok against the Mushrooms. Battlefield of Eternity is the map. To the left, we got Rujea on Muradin. We have Arthas, Lucio, and Sonya here. So a triple frontline, actually, with Muradin, Arthas, and Sonya all going to be trying to protect the backline. Plok himself on Jimmy with the Exterminator as his level 1 talent. On the right side for the Mushrooms, we currently have Nubarak here, with Stukov, Liming, Greymane, and Blaze coming in. So, interesting one. Also level 1, Regeneration Master for Nubarak. Interesting to see him go into a Globe talent on this particular map. Not really what I expected here, especially after every single Nubarak so far, even on maps that are better for Globe support, have not really gone into this one. So, he seems to be confident enough that he feels he can complete the talent in a reasonable time frame.
Yeah, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it. He needs 30 globes to get
if
the
they
500
win the
HP.
Immortal, I suppose, reliably.
No,
I mean,
because you're on.
I don't think so either, but hey, I'm grasping for straws here.
I mean, one thing to know, Arthas is already at 3 stacks for his Frost, or 2 stacks for his Frost Presence. I mean, that's something that I was kind of curious of. I thought he might go block, but it looks like he did opt for the Frost Presence. Blaze, though, rotating in here. Plok on the Raynor in a bit of a scary situation here. Jackpot able to get a first stun, but they are just going to be able to walk out. And Sonya, you know, pushing out the top wave, maybe potentially look for camp. Lucio looking to chase him down. And it's just a bit of a brawl. I mean, both teams kind of stacking up a bit.
Yeah, right now, would it be fair to say that Plok is still the favorite heading into this, considering how well they did in their semifinal? Or do you really feel that it was just the TAT playing not to their potential?
I think it's a mix of both. I would say that I think Sexyplok is definitely the favorite going into this. I don't love their their composition's okay. I still think I favor, you know, Mushrooms a tiny bit. So I think it could go either way, but I think as far as which team do I think is mechanically, you know, better knowledge, I would have to say I have to favor. I mean, they just beat like such a good team, and they did it in a commanding fashion that I feel like it'd be disrespectful to not say them, you know?
Yeah, Muradin jumps in aggressively, misses the Stormbolt, but they're still going for the double block against Nubarak. Gets bodied out of this, and there's the kill. Jimmy with a final shot connected. Well done, and the Beetle is down. First kill for them. Looked a bit scary for just a moment for Muradin himself, but now he can get another Stormbolt easily against Stukov over here. And Sonya's also fighting it out with no fear up at the top against Blaze as the bot lane is taken. Spin to win, baby, but the oil spill is there too.
Though. Mushrooms rotating. They have the advantage as well. Kursaku, he's going to see him on the lane now. He's going to start rotating out. Good Gladiator's Medallion. Sidestep as well. But is going to be forced to use that cooldown. But, I mean, the Nubrak, again, guys, he has to be really careful about when he's burrow charging in. Because if he burrow charges in, they don't get a kill and a reset, he's pretty much almost always dead. With that Arthas there just waiting to slow him, it's really difficult for the Nubrak to actually leave. Both teams are going to be rotating over to their Bruiser camp. Good timings coming out as the Immortal is going to be spawning in the next 10 minutes.
And we talked about the playstyle on a Nubarak already during the draft, but it gets even further emphasized by the way that he's currently talenting the hero. Underking comes in as the level 4. It is that dive combo that really wants to go for the kill, with Blaze jumping in with additional stuns through jet propulsion, Stukov following up. But Jimmy is already on the Immortal, and we all know what Jimmy can do with Exterminator on level 1 for the first Immortal in particular. So everybody's just focusing on the blue team's Immortal instead. And here's the kill. Arthas is down, actually. Nicely done. Arthas down. And at the same time, the Mushrooms did actually a little bit better on the Immortal race too, so they are looking at a pretty... I mean, this is an exceptional position for them considering the circumstances.
Yeah, Muradin jumping in. They're looking for a kill here. The Anubrak actually gonna get Immortal Stone, the follow-up, and Anub, just like that, it's evened up. Anubrak has died. It looks like Sonya is gonna be rotating over. Okay, no, it looks like Rainer's gonna be rotating to race. The Sonya's a bit low though. I actually would have hoped that they would have swapped those two heroes. And the Immortal is going to be going the way of Mushrooms here. But they were able to get something, right? They were able to kill the Anubrak, stop him from getting these 2 globes in the mid lane for his quest. So, you know, it's something, but they're still, I would say, a bit behind here. But I think they need 7 and 10 before, you know, their front line really starts to get tanky.
Muradin and his stacks, I feel, is a bit scary. We have 4 minutes in and he's already halfway done. Sledgehammer or no Sledgehammer, that's pretty solid setup here. So he comes in again, setting another one up. 5th, 17 for now, but the push topside has of course to be dealt with, and Muradin is trying to distract them as much as he can, but the team is just simply jumping in, and if whenever Greymane can make it into Warden form, that will help them even more. The early level 7 then again? Oh no! Really? All build? Oh my god. Tilt!
I mean, wait, but it's into triple melee. I actually think it's not bad. I don't love it, but it's also, it's not like, I assume it's an adaptation for the triple melee, because I actually want to see how it plays out before I make a full, because I hate orb build.
Yeah,
like
I hate it with a passion. I mean, Calamity is just such a game changer.
Yeah.
And especially here, you know, I feel like if they have Calamity, that's an extra damage source that you have. And if you really try to dive on a single target, then that's the way to go. So that's something you lack now if you are looking for that insta-kill. And this entire composition just screams, get the quick kill.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is them adapting after they see the Arthas and the Sonya coming out. Maybe they're gonna play a bit more front to back. You know, like, but actually they went Wisdom Duelist on Greymane, so that doesn't make sense, right? Like, all right, you know, I was trying, I tried. I think the orb build is bad. Yeah, I think I was, you know, I was trying to find the middle ground. Anubrak eing in.
You were going full NA on me, and I mean full NA, not the meta. I mean full NA, trying to find the reasoning behind it. You're trying to be nice.
Oh, try to be nice. Plok. So it looks like
there's the jump. All right. They are hyper-aggressive, though. I like that. I mean, they're invading the camp top side. The problem is, of course, that they also rotated away from the bottom. So they got the camp, but Kirizaku got the one at the bottom. It would have been a different story if they get the kill. But since they don't, it's an exchange in camps. There's still a slight advantage in structure damage because the Mushrooms were able to do a lot of work with the first Immortal. But as the builds continue, we have Sonya with the spin to win setup. We got Immortal Coil and the Deathlord over on Arthas. Given the circumstances and the role that he plays here, I really like that, to be honest. I think the utility out of the level 1 is really solid for him, but I like that he tries to go into survivability. And it brings me immediately to a question. We could see Syndragosa, honestly, on this map, given that they're playing a triple melee right now.
Lucio too, actually. Yeah, that. One thing I will say, I would have liked the Iceman Fortitude on the Arthas. I think it's like such a good talent, right? Being able to like CC reduction for, you know, 75% for 3 seconds is really good into a Nubrak Stukov plays. It looks like on the bot side, Sonya falling low here. Crow with the good silence, pressuring them out. Greymane on the top side is going to be racing during all of this, but they're looking to get a kill. Crow on the Stukov is actually going to die. But they're, you know, health bars are really low. Okay, Calamity. Okay, they are going to be able to get one reset. Are they going to be able to get another?
If they can get another kill here, that would be insane. And Plok eats the damage from Li Ming here. But they are now sacrificing this because level 10 is ready. That gives us... Oh, wow. She even goes disintegrate. Against the Nubarak, yes. With the Nubarak too. Whew. Didn't expect that. Arthas goes on the other hand for the army. We have 10 on both sides here. They go for Greymane. Arthas is literally trying to walk him down here. Gets some extra damage. It even connects the root, but can't do much more than that. The Immortal is again won by the Mushrooms as Blaze is forced to bunker up.
Yeah, Blaze just able to get on out of there. Going to be a lot of ults used for both sides. They still have Murd and Avatar, which is pretty big, but the Immortal going to be coming down here into the bot lane. Half HP as well. Oh, Muradin jumping down. Actually has a flank here. They potentially look to force the engage, but I don't like the Greymane needs to be careful here.
Yeah,
Leaning, face checking. The two-man stun actually
gets that out. Let's be really careful though. Where's the ult? There it is. Disintegrate is being used. Li Ming not attack. Greymane. Oh my god, Muradin barely jumps out just as we have the orb about to connect. topside Blaze is pushing the fort at the bottom of the map. The 4 versus 5 is continuing, and they are about to go for their fort here. I don't really think, yeah, the Immortal is going to take this one down. They can't defend it. Jimmy, Immortal stun, has to be careful, nearly gets hit by it. And this is a 4 versus 5 the entire time here, and they just can't do anything about it. They engage again, Mushrooms. I mean, seriously, they don't care. 4v5 all day, baby. They go and engage again.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the struggles of triple melee that we see, right? And during all of that, Blaze able to secure the top fort. So that means for the next Immortal spawn, there's going to be double counter pressure coming out for the side of Mushrooms. Basically just, you know, allowing them extra pressure. It's just it's a difficult part of the triple melee comp, right? Like, you need to get a fight and you need to try and like fight fast. You have to get on top of them. But I mean, they only really have a Mura stun for engage, right? Like Lucio speed they could use. Like, I feel like that's kind of what they're gonna have to look to do in these team fights is, you know, maybe come from an odd angle and use Lucio speed to get your Arthas, get your Sonya on top of the squishy, you know, Stukov, Greymane, Li Ming, because, you know, these slow fights don't really seem to be working for them that well.
Yeah, push to the bot lane with double camp at this point as they're trying to get some pressure. They lost 2 forts, so they need to do something. Muradin is getting attacked again, and he's just getting melted away the entire time, and the bullet is connecting hard with him. There's the bunker. This combo that we're seeing for Mushrooms, it's just really good. I mean, again, I still believe that Li Ming build is absolute grief what we're seeing here. Especially having this integrate even on the 10 without going up against Cocoon. Doesn't mean that you can't win the game. Sometimes you just win despite a talent picking up because of it. But the problem is really just their combo, despite the talents, is just really good. I mean, this is a solid Truth and Tried combo. We talked about this earlier. This is an HGC comp right there.
Oh, and a terrifying one at that.
Yeah, exactly.
For the record, like that's like an S tier. Like, hey guys, what would be our ideal draft on the Battlefield of Eternity? Oh, yeah. I mean, this looks like it.
Exactly.
And they're gonna be able to get the full free halftime.
This is one of those comps where when you come through the draft and your opponent got that comp in HTC, which is like literally sitting there, GG, go next.
Yep. I mean, because they just have so much one-shot potential. Mura in the flank though. Looking for them. I mean, I think this is kind of what they have to do, coming from odd angles, looking to pressure them.
Yeah.
Like to see, yeah, Sonya and Rain are actually doing a decent amount of damage here. And this is going okay. Mura just doing a really good job flanking around the side, just constantly pressuring out the side of Mushrooms. Jumping in here is gonna actually miss the stun, but is able to get the avatar off.
Sound barrier.
Silence beat. Yeah, a good beat there.
They got it. They could go for the kill against Nubarak. They're trying. There is, on the other hand, the Cocoon and the stun follow-up. It's just so much control. That setup with the Nubarak is just fantastic, but he's in trouble now. And Greymane dies first. And Nubarak actually made it out, but they're still trying to turn it against Stukov here, and the fight continues as Blaze is in trouble. Jackpot dies. Sonya, no mercy as she's trying to go for Stukov again. Stormbolt! And that's the triple kill right here. 6 kills to 2 now. Despite the shaky start into the fight, not only do they lock down 3 heroes and kill them, but they also win the Immortal quite handily after the halftime show swap.
Yeah, I mean, a really good job coming from them. I really think their Muradin is kind of carrying their team, to be honest. He's creating so much chaos, right?
Yeah.
Like, you see him playing in the background, forcing them all to kind of split up, and just doing a really good job at forcing and getting that engaged, getting the avatar off before he got Stukov silenced. A really good job. And one thing to note, Greymane did die, so his Wisdom Duelist sacks are going to be half. Moving forward, that's a pretty big, you know, DPS decrease, and they might be looking for more here. Muradin doesn't have avatar for another 15. Once he gets that, may look to go more aggressive. They really want to secure this fort here. Sonya on the flank. Kurosaki.
Yeah, 6 kills to 2 now. Again, Sonya sitting on the side here. Li Ming once more trying to tickle them down a little bit with a disintegrate and shoots out another combo. Has to keep himself in the back the entire time, but they are not doing anything against the Immortal here. It walked easily through the fort and is now making its way over to the keep, starting to open the wall up. And that front line is starting to become a bit of a problem for the Mushrooms. Now again, we harped on this from the beginning of the game, from the moment we saw their draft. The one-shot potential on their side is crazy, but once that they actually went in and used their cooldowns, if they weren't able to take someone down, and Lucio gets, for example, a good ult off, those team fights can turn quickly, so they really need to explode onto a target and drop it instantly. That's the dream here. By the way, talking about dreams, Nubarak 26 stacks, he's gonna make it.
Oh, is he? Wow. Okay, I underestimated his ability to get glows.
I mean,
maybe I need to get like.
It's late, but still.
No, it's pretty good on this map, honestly. Like the fact that he's able to complete it, 30 globes is not bad. I mean, one thing I do want to note, 16, a huge power spike. I think if Lucio goes the percent healing, wait, didn't go the percent healing. Never mind. Anubrak gonna get stunned here. Mura jumping in. They are taking the fort here. Flailing swipe is going to come out. Sonya chunking out the fort. 16 hasn't been achieved yet for the mushrooms. Both teams kind of posturing. I'm really surprised that the Lucio didn't go percent healing at 16. With a triple front line, I feel like that would have been a pretty good way to, you know, keep them all up, give them a lot of HP.
Top line still getting pressured out a bit. That's where the 16 is going to come into play as Jackpot rotates top to make use of that. At the bottom, can they make a play here? I mean, the dream would of course be from their perspective to engage into the 5 versus 4 here, get a quick kill just as the Immortal is there. But they're not going to be given the chance. Mushrooms are playing this good. And now they have Epicenter. That 16 talent here for the Mushrooms is incredibly powerful.
Yeah, I mean, especially into triple frontline as well. Probably going to be able to get a lot of E resets. Immortal spawning up. There's going to be night pressure on the top side. Both teams just racing here. I mean, Sledgehammer, Sonya, Rainer as well. Going to be a lot of damage. Looks like Sexyplok is going to win the race, but they have to deal with the top pressure off of this. So, you know, potentially there'll be a winder for Mushrooms to step in and look to get that one shot.
Yeah, they have to defend this first of all, but the race, of course, against Jimmy isn't really working out here, I mean, as you would expect. But they need to trade that time topside, as you already mentioned, and that's where Sonya comes into play. And, well, down here, Greymane, he doesn't make the commitment to the Immortal yet, can't jump so far forward, he would immediately be caught out here. They're trying to poke it out. Sonya is now done. And of course, they're losing out a little bit, but here comes the engage as they're slowly moving in. Muradin is jumping in, gets the double stun off. Immediately the follow-up with another spear as they're trying to chase Mushrooms down. Sexyplok is moving in with the sound barrier already used by Lucio. And they're trying to go in again. Another Howling Blast. Storm, all the damage. But everybody is still alive. Li Ming is looking for resets, but can't get them.
Lucio trying to run out here, but they're going to be able to finish the Immortal during all of this. I mean, Mura's just getting 2 big jump stuns. Jackpot going in here. I mean, they're already going to lose the Immortal. If they lose some heroes, they don't have a Nubrak as well. Big orb coming in from Praise the Stun. You know, it does have level 16 orb now, which might help, but...
I'm amazed that we did not see anyone die when Muradin and Arthas combined into the choke point against them. That really looked like especially the Beetle would have been blown up to pieces within seconds.
Yeah, I think maybe that's the super strain coming out from Stukov, the 16. The root or the stun basically gives a big heal, which I mean is really good into the Arthas and the Muradin. Good 16 talent for him as well. Jackpot maybe falling a bit low here on the Blaze. Forced to use the Gladiator's Medallion, or actually just forced to use the Cleanse. But Mura with another jump stun, looking for the Blaze. No bunker for another 5 seconds.
They try to go through the wall here. I mean, the dream would be the keep. I'm not quite sure if they can get it though. 16 minutes in, that Immortal is losing out quickly. I mean, the fights, honestly, one of the big problems is really at this point, I mean, you can really tell Li Ming is getting damage together, but the problem is it doesn't mean anything. It's poke damage from the outside, and she is really relying on mainly Greymane to solidify the kill, and if he doesn't, then they just don't get the resets for her, and that's the problem. There's the Cocoon, the re-engage, Muradin is in trouble, Sound Barrier is out, he's silenced, and he jumps out, he actually makes it. Sonya, Gladiator's Medallion gets popped, and she is about to get away here too. Yeah, the kill potential. I mean, as we said before, a big part of this is that usually with Calamity you have a different damage source that you can use on top of it. You have also control with your Wave of Force, and both of these elements are missing. So she can poke from the outside and get some damage, but that doesn't mean anything if the kills don't follow. And Greymane is the one who's supposed to deliver them, I suppose, so that she gets the reset and can get a bit more done. But right now it's not really working for them. They're having trouble to go through the front line, even with the Anubarak and Stukov setup.
Yeah, no, like that Muradin would have died if we had Mirror Ball plus Calamity. Like, yeah. I definitely think it was a mistake coming out by Praise the Sun there. I mean, you're a one-shot comp, right? Like that's It feels like their plan was to do a one-shot comp, and then you know it's like, oh, they have triple frontline. I can get so much value with orb build, and you know when you click tab, it's like, yeah, okay, Li Ming's got 70k damage, but it doesn't matter if you don't kill anyone.
Exactly.
Right? Like it doesn't matter unless someone dies, and that's something to know. But Mura, look at this flank already set up. This Muradin has just been flanking all game. They need to be careful.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sniffed out. Praise the Sun. Double checking it. I like it. That was a good one. That would have been a devastating surprise if they face checked that bush. But Muradin, look at him on the minimap. I mean, he's flanking around again.
Stukov sees him. Yeah, look at it. He's just sowing so much chaos. Like the red team is so afraid of, guys, where's Murden? Where's Murden right now? Like he's just doing a really good job at constantly being a threat and making them afraid and making them, you know, play more passive and have to just constantly be watching their back. Both teams approaching the level 20, but the Immortal is going to go the way of Mushrooms here as they are able to get halftime with the faster rotate Mura again with a deep flank here. Looking potentially for someone. The Immortal is going to spawn. They are going to start racing. Mura could look for a jump stun potentially on Crow as he walks over here. Looking for the Stukov. Maybe that's going to be their go button once Mura jumps in.
They know where he is. They ping him. Uh-oh. Could get caught here. Might be in trouble. Hits the Storm Ball. Double stun. But here comes Stukov. Locks him down. And goodbye. Yep. He wanted a little bit too much here. That was too aggressive. They might still win the Immortal though if Jimmy can stand there somewhere, but nope, not really happening. He eats the damage from Li Ming too. There's the engage. They're getting a little bit desperate. Sonya was trying to lock that in. That doesn't happen either. Yeah, I mean, at this point it was a bit too desperate of Muradin to come in, and I gotta give some credit here to Mushrooms to really wait his position out, ping that the entire time, and then once they saw a chance, connect. And Crow in particular, he was the one, got the stun in, and that allowed them the easy kill.
Yeah, he was definitely there in position, able to get the Stukov route, which basically secures the kill onto the Muradin. There was maybe a brief second there where he could have popped Avatar, but I think he thought, oh, I'll be fine. I don't need to use it. Because it's like, I wonder if he gets Avatar off there, if maybe they actually get the Immortal and maybe he escapes. But Crow doing a really good job on the Stukov, able to get that route. Level 20, going to be achieved for both teams. Rewind, as well as Splash, Fortified Bunker, Hell Rashas. And I would assume to see, you know, maybe upgraded sound barrier could be pretty big. Put it on like a 30-second cooldown. The Immortal push is going in here. This is a keep. This is potentially a GG push if they get a couple kills.
Exactly. If they can get a kill here, this is over. But now there's the 20 on both sides. Keep is definitely gonna fall already. Melee mode for the Immortal as they're starting to go in for it. 20s have been chosen. They're poking them down slowly. Here comes the attack as they're trying to get a kill, especially, of course, the Nuburak is looking for it, but they're burning the Immortal down as quickly as they can. Yeah, Nuburak is sitting tight. They're going into the backline here. Double Catapult is coming in with the 2. The shields are already falling on the core, but they're coming in and they're burning it down. Sonya is still alive. Cocoon against Lucio. The shield is falling. They actually didn't focus it right away. The bunker is already up and they're just trying to go for it. Praise the Sun in the back is eating a lot of damage from the turret, actually. There's the first kill, 50% on the core. They're trying for it. They're going for it as we speak, and they might actually just get it, but Li Ming is down, Greyman is down, Stukov is down, and they are throwing. They are losing. They get wiped on the core with 33%. The map is open. 5-man team wiped. The bot lane is pushing. They lost it on the core.
Yeah, the Sonya did such a good job at zoning them off. Like, such a good job. The Zonya was literally like 1v5ing and clearing the wave. And during all of that, the Rainer was using Exterminator to just clear out the Immortal. I feel like Mushrooms could have done a lot better job of spreading out and like not focusing the Sonya. Just go hit the core.
Too desperate. Core goes down. The grand final starts with a victory for Sexyplok, ladies and gentlemen, as the Mushrooms get murdered on the left side of the map in a core rush attempt. GG and well played. The blue team with a lead.
Yeah, I mean, the triple melee comp worked out. I feel like it shouldn't have.
Yeah,
I feel like it definitely started working better late game, but I think you're so right. I think if Li Ming went Calamity, went Mirror Ball, I feel like they would have had a lot more kill pressure on that Muradin. And I feel like part of why that Muradin was able to play so aggressive and was able to flank and do so much is because he didn't have the threat of the Li Ming one shot or even the wave, right? Because wave can stop his jump and then he kind of dies.
It's communication, so this is a best of 5 series, not a best of 3, as we initially assumed. There was apparently a typo somewhere, but all the players knew from the get-go that it's a best of 5, so now we are also in the know. We're heading into Towers of Doom with a lead for Sexyplok after a pretty crazy game. Quite well played here, with a good draft for the Mushrooms, maybe a little bit like on the execution. And as we talked about the map, our one-trick Kel'Thas over here was fanboying the hero a little bit and talking about the advantages of Kel'Thas on Towers of Doom. So Michael, go.
Okay, so here's the thing. Kel'Thas is really good if you get to like 16, 20, like really strong power spikes, especially in choke points, right? So a lot of the team fights on this map are around the sapper camp, right? Like around the pumpkin sapper, and it's really easy to get a lot of value on Kel'Thas in that situation. And Praise the Sun is a really good kind of like a Kel'Thas one trick from, you know, I don't know if he's a one trick, but I think his Kael'thas is really good. So I would expect, a fellow Kael'thas player to potentially be looking at that later on in the draft.
Did you just start the praise for hero with the once he's level 20?
No, what? I said 16 too. Okay, here's the thing. Kael'thas has really good wave clear,
Triggered.
so it's like you're guaranteed to go later. Kael'thas is one of the only ranged DPS with like an actual stun follow-up, right? Which is pretty good. I mean, I know there's Medallion, but like getting Medallion for a 10 or 15 second cooldown seems pretty good. And the hero has built-in Mana Addict. I think people think that Kael'thas is like super susceptible to like dive, and I just think that's not true because you have self peel with the stun and you have Mana Addict. Okay, that's my Kael'thas rant.
Don't have to convince me. Mana is a friend of mine, so you have an ally in Mana, believe me. But if we see Kael'thas or not, that's a different story. As you said, we have seen a lot of Kael'thas from Praise the Sun. I mean, the nickname itself already hints to it. But now that we're looking at our draft, we have the Anubarak ban and the Diablo ban. The first pick hasn't really changed, though, so Stukov is ready once more. And I gotta say, I would love that Kael'thas over the Liming that we saw in the last game, because, yeah, that's the Liming build that was a bucket build. Give me a bucket to puke into when I see it. Muradin and Imperius, the double pick at the front, and these boys like their stuns. I like it.
Yeah, Imperius. I mean, Kirisaku really impressed me in the last game that I saw him play Imperius. I mean, this looks like a very beefy, a lot of a lot of stuns and CC from the front line. I think it's really good. As long as they pick up some sort of macro hero, probably with their DPS that has a lot of wave clear, I think they should, be in a pretty good situation.
Garrosh comes in. It's again one of those comms that we've been talking about previously. You have the Garrosh with the Stukov follow-up, you have the Junkrat behind him. That's a lot of displacement. And it's, of course, really nasty when you're getting these pumpkins to the death zone, too. If you step out a little bit too much, Garrosh is there, and he's going to throw you into the rest of the team. You can also try to throw the pumpkins in. And, yeah, that on Towers of Doom can make a huge difference here. We still need damage. There's a couple of options if you're really trying to pressure the structures, of course. You always have the option to go into a Sylvanas. There's a Greymane as a potential pick on top of that too. We've seen, even on this map, Jimmy used quite a lot with Ace in the hole, with Executioner, both totally viable here. Seems like both of the teams are a bit concerned about the wave clear options that still exist here. Even Zul getting banned. That's the first time that we actually have seen Zul addressed at all in one of these Korean teams, whereas in Europe that hero is actually quite common right now, and I believe on North America too, right? On big maps to wave clear 2 lanes.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and I think a big part of it is Imperius can't double soak, right? So they don't want Imperius to have to be matched up against Azul because they would lose that matchup for sure. It looks like it is going to be
there it is.
Maxes.
We actually get it. The Sul'jin was banned on the last map, and we've been asking why. We've said like there's probably someone that plays Sul'jin on the side, and now the question has been answered. It is Sul'jin time.
Yeah, Sul'jin, a really good hero into Garrosh. Once you get 16, makes it so your Q ignores armor. You just absolutely shred that hero. I mean, they got a lot of damage. Looks like it's comfort comps. My one thing is I think they need wave clear. Greymane and Blaze can be coming out. I just feel like the macro of the map, if Mushrooms, plays it pretty well with the Junkrat, with the Blaze, with the Greymane, definitely feel like they should have an advantage. But I mean, Sexyplok, they ran a 3 melee last time and didn't really have much macro, and they were able to make it work. I feel like they can make it work again, and I'm really excited to see how this Sul'jin actually does.
Mushrooms, I feel, draft the more meta comms at this point.
Yeah.
And we've seen it on the last map. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're winning the games. Execution is still a big part of it, of course. Got a Thrall coming in through, so we have that triple front line once again. Quite common also to see that in the European scene. But I'm excited for this, because there's always that little bit of a twist that we have from Sexyplok, which is kind of cool to see in the grand final here in our best of 5. But map 2 is starting up, and we have Towers of Doom Mushrooms going up against Sexyplok. Let's see who locks in victory number 2 here.
Yeah, we're having a Sul'jin game, Khaldor. Sorry, I'm just like,
Sorry,
I'm still shook. We're having a Sul'jin game. I haven't watched a competitive Sul'jin game since Hosty and like HGC like 2 years ago. I'm pretty excited for this one.
We had a couple of Maki games where he played it on something like Volskaya, but nothing that was successful enough that anybody said, okay, we have to make this a thing.
Gotcha.
So,
well, I mean, it's probably pretty good on Volskaya too, because you get free stacks, right? Because you can just stack off the protector. Gotcha.
Okay. I'm excited to see what they can do with this. I mean, he was banned earlier, so I mean, there has to be something to it, right? Plok, #1 GM here on the Korean server, streamer too. He must have a reputation for this a bit. And he has a triple front line as well, so they can keep him a bit safer there. So yeah, excited, let's go.
I mean, I think their team fights are going to be really good. I'm worried they're not going to get 5v5 team fights, right? Because I think a lot of times their Imperius is going to be catching top lane, their Thrall's going to be catching mid, and they're going to get like 4v3'd or 5v3'd or 5v4'd.
Yeah. Game on! Sexyplok against the Mushrooms. Ruji and we got Muradin, Thrall, and Imperius at the front line for Sexyplok. We got a Deckard Kane in the back to help them here. Suljin comes in and goes on level 1 into the Bone Slice. No balls confirmed, no headhunter over here. Goes into the save talent. Seems like he wants to win the game. Unacceptable. On the right side on the map, Praise the Sun on Junkrat. He went for crazy build on Liming in the last game. Now he turns onto a crazy hero. We got Upton on Greymane and Garrosh in with Jackpot on Blaze, Crow on Stukov. All right. Yeah, let's go. Kalibala over here. Also, no Trolling Thunder in this game. No Trash Lightning. We're going Echo of Elements, baby.
Trash Lightning. I think Crash is pretty good, actually.
It's just pretty much troll. I mean, it was a trash talent for a long time, but these days it's kind of okay. And the Trolling Thunder is kind of the standard in most of the maps in Europe right now.
Yeah, I think it's pretty solid. Yeah, I mean, wave clear is definitely going to be going the way of Mushrooms, able to pretty much instantly clear mid, go towards bottom, and they're going to get a flip in. Actually, Mura does still have jumps, so should be okay. But this is just, you know, buying space, letting Zul'jin stack. Oh.
Yeah, okay, but he makes it up. That was nearly a kill. No, but all jokes about like Trolling Thunder and Trash Lightning aside, I just like love the name plays there. But
that's good.
A good Trash Lightning can actually be kind of neat. I mean, if you get him into a 4-man rotation, for example, that's kind of good if you can get the stacks together. The problem is that I feel on the European side at least, they have to deal with that so many times in the past that most of the teams know very well how to handle that if the talent pick comes through, and they really delay the early stacking, and then it gets tricky for Thrall to get late game value out of it. So it's always a bit of a back and forth question, but we have mostly Trolling Thunder these days because you're seeing him more on the solo lane than in the 4-man, even with a triple melee.
Yeah, and the percent damage is pretty nice, especially for solo lane as far as trades go. But I mean, we see the wave clear advantage coming in so far. Like the pumpkin sappers were taken out way earlier. Garrosh, maybe potentially a boop. Okay, they're not going to be able to get it.
Yeah, that's the one thing that scares me a little bit for the blue team. Yeah, all the displacement, exactly. Perfect example right here. Thank you for delivering. Zul'jin is down, and you have Garrosh, you have Junkrat, you have the follow-up from Blaze, Stukov can once again put the Lurking Arm down. I think the combo potential from the Mushrooms is insane. Absolutely insane. And the question is more so, can they somehow avoid these combos? And if they can, it would be nice, but keep in mind, Cleanse is not really an option here either, so you're relying a lot on Medallion too.
Yeah, and they've already lost the bot wall, is the thing. Oh, Mura actually jumping in here, looking for a stun potentially. It's just going to get thrown out by the Garrosh. I mean, they have a 4v4 right now. They want to try and take it, but one of them is going to have to rotate mid to actually catch that soak. Imperius is unable to do the double. I know I'm going to be talking about macro a lot, but I think that's really where, like, what's going to be so hard about this game. Oh, good Deckard roots coming out though. Garrosh taking a lot of damage. Plok's just able to stack here. Mura jumping in. APTO, good Medallion actually right before they get it, and it actually is going to save his life here for all.
Yeah, big brawl here. And don't worry about the macro, that's totally fine. Like, this game is going to be decided probably through that. For me personally, the reason why I actually laughed was because I think there's no better visual interaction than having Muradin jump in and then Garrosh going for the get the fuck out of here and just throwing him back out. So that ping pong move is just brilliant.
Yeah, I love it. It's kind of like the same with the noob, right? Like if a noob ease in, you just throw it. It's like, no thanks. Like, I don't actually want it. And it looks like the channel is going to be getting capped by Crow, allowing them to get, 8 shots to 4. Level 7 is going to be achieved first for Team Mushrooms. Would expect to see them maybe potentially look for an invade here, but Mura actually going to be thrown in, falling low here. I don't think he has jump, and it looks like he may actually fall. Mura just trying to pick all the potions that he can, and he is going to die. But the question is, what can they get off of that one kill?
Yeah, they have nothing to invade. They did enough damage at the bot lane, though. I gotta say that looking at this and the setup, for me, this is one of those scenarios where I'm saying, okay, red team wins this, easy. Unless the blue team can somehow play around it. And right now, I'm just excited to see them try, I want to say. But the red team, from my perspective, thanks to the combos that they have with this setup, have an insane advantage here. And if they... I guess the game plan is really just to get Zul'jin to a point where he's getting so insane in the late game that he can just murder them. And this is a map that usually goes for a pretty long time, where you're guaranteed to hit your 20. So if he can stack well, if he can turn into a monster, they might have a chance here. But just from the looks of it right now, I think the Mushrooms have a big advantage.
Yeah, and that's definitely kind of what I feel like, is it's really going to come down to how well is Sexyplok able to not fall behind, right? Because they really need to get level 10s. They need to get their ultimate so that they can take team fights. And then once they do that, like, how much have they lost? Are they down a talent tier? Are they down too many shots? Because I think they have a really strong late game team fight, but it's just the issue of getting there. As you see, they're already down a level 5 minutes into the game, and red team is going to be rotating here towards the mid, trying to secure level 10. I'd expect to see them just trade here. They don't really want to force go into the top right or top left. If I was them, I would just want to hit level 10 and then do everything in my power to secure the actual objective on this map, which is the bottom left tower for them.
Exactly. So even exchange, what you usually see here around the second one, nobody's invading, nobody's playing it too crazy. We got the exchange of bell tower shots, which still gives us the 4-point lead for the Mushrooms. Muradin is looking for an opening here, of course, too. And we have on level 7 for Zul'jin also the Vicious Assault, so it's not like they are going into cleave stacks. No spin to win here for him. Plok is just going to try and stack his baseline as much as he can.
Yeah, and it seems like he's doing decent so far. I mean, 38 out of 150. It's not perfect, but I mean, on Towers of Doom, it's not the easiest map to stack. Level 10 has been achieved. Riptire, massive shove, go for the throat, taunt, and bunker coming out. Mid lane though.
Gets caught.
Oh.
Medallion, Muradin. Alright, a lot of medallions being popped. 2 of them already here. Yeah, they make it out. And thankfully for them, they avoided the big fight. They didn't get caught too hard. And we have now... I mean, they burned a few cooldowns, but still, they didn't die here. So there's no additional momentum for the Mushrooms. This Capybara at the front is still looking for opportunities to set it up for the team. Level 10 abilities give us also no Earthquake. In this case, we actually get Sundering, so they're looking for flanks apparently. Already starting to chase Imperius, and that's a kill. Is it?
Oh, maybe not. Maybe not.
Oh,
Imperius.
clutch.
Sunder. The Sunder coming out. Garrosh falling low. Riptire as well to sleep. That's going to be one hero falling. Can they get another Blaze? Stunning in here. Zul'jin stacking during all of this, saying, yes, please, let's keep brawling. I need these stacks. And the cap is up in 20 seconds. They might actually be able to zone this off. Yeah. And they're going to actually invade and take the pumpkin cap. This is pretty big for them. I mean, they kill Garrosh. They're able to maybe potentially secure this cap before he's up as well. Good
that was huge right now for Sexyplok. I mean, the Mushrooms got smoked in that last fight. And first, we have Imperius just baiting this entire thing out. Then he survives, gets the ult through, and they turn it and are able to get the kill against Garrosh. So now they have a bit of a lead. They take the pumpkins. They're trying to go for the channel. At the bottom, Stukova's thinking about moving in, decides against it. Nicely done. Well played. And that brings the first kill to them too, and they equalize the points on the core.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really big for them. I think after that, I'm actually thinking Sexyplok has a really good chance in this game, because I thought the way that they would really lose is if they got snowballed on from the macro. Yeah. And they're only down about half, or like a, 3/4 of a level at this point, about to take their camp out, potentially going to get invaded. Blaze does have rotate. It's a 4v5. Are they going to be able to finish it in time? Garrosh is not going to be able to get there, just barely.
They're clutching a lot of these things. The ult at the bottom barely got it in before anybody could interrupt it, and now we have the same thing happening at the camp here. But yeah, as long as it works for them, it's fine. Stacks are nearly done for Muradin, so that's good for him. 12 stacks on the baseline for Zul'jin as he keeps hammering away here. And Muradin has now his Storm Bolt ready. Plok on 13. That damage output right now is still at 17,000. He's nearly top damage in the game.
Yeah, he's pretty close to. I mean, as far as Zul'jin goes, you really want to get the 75 stacks, and he's currently at 67. So all he needs is a couple more autos, and then he'll get that extra 1.1 basic attack range, which will just make his life a lot easier playing into, the Junkrat boobs as well as the Garrosh displacement.
Still a bit of a fight in the middle. The two offlaners are rotating around. The level 13 is in, so they're playing it a bit safer here. That, of course, brings us again the Violent Reaction immediately in play. And Muradin, the Juke Master, is out. There was a good move from Junkrat, but Muradin called it out and moved away from it. So nicely done by him, too.
Yeah, I mean, the Blaze is definitely just winning the double soak here, so they're losing a lot of XP, which is difficult, but it seems like they're winning a lot of these engages, so they might be able to just turn around with their raw team fighting potential. Again, super healing potions coming out by the Deckard. deciding to not go Ancient Blessings, which I do think is really good, especially with the number of auto attackers that they do have with Zul'jin, with Thrall. I feel like that could have been good. But both teams posturing here for a team fight, 13-13, 28 shots to 28 shots. Jackpot in the flank, on the Blaze. The boop, though, Thrall being thrown in, Gladiator's Medallion as well. They are going to be able to stall the cap. Imperius looking for Garrosh here. He's going to be able to get the spear. Jackpot falling low. Zul'jin looking to do damage. Greymane, he is going to be okay. Khaldor, they're getting intense here to sleep.
Ooh, the old man going for it. He hits Blaze as he just comes out. So Blaze gets caught, but there's the Sundering isolating the tank again. Capybara goes down, and oh my god, the second kill against the Wolf just as he was about to get a kill in against Zul'jin. Double kill for the blue team. They are starting to take a bit of momentum here. They're still trailing behind a bit in experience, but that's another 4 shots fired against the opponent's team, which puts them to 28 points against 24 right now. And thanks to the pumpkins that he just locked in, they have the pressure at the bottom of the map. By now we also have Zul'jin with a range increase thanks to the 15 stacks that he has. It's at 17 right now. So yeah, looks good over here. They are starting to come back into this. Initially they were struggling a little bit, as you said. The danger was them getting snowballed in the early game, but now they're starting to really find the rhythm here.
Yeah, and I'm pretty worried for Mushrooms moving forward. I really think Sexyplok's comp scales. Once they get level 16 on that Zul'jin, Garrosh is going to have a really difficult time. And, you know, I really felt that Mushrooms needed to snowball this game. And the current state of the game is that they're pretty much even in experience and they're down 4 shots. I think the longer this game goes, it's going to be difficult for them. Maybe at level 20, they can start to get really good rip tires. But it's really just going to come down to these team fights. And consistently, Sexyploks have showed that they are going to win these team fights. Looking for the Stukov route, not going to be able to get it. Voodoo Shuffle able to actually, you know, get rid of that. A really nice 10-second cooldown to have into Stukov as well as Garrosh.
And the problem with the late game is also that eventually you have to be worried about Zul'jin, who can just start to scale hard into the late game the way this is going. He died only once. If they can kill him a few more times and really control him and his ability to connect these auto attacks, that would help. But now it's nearly 16 versus 16. Should be an even fight now that we have another 15 seconds left until the next few altars are up. There's still Thrall getting experience in the middle. Red team already has the level 16 talent, which gives us now the spread volley. And we got also the seasoned soldier. And again, Zul'jin with a no mercy over here. It's all about the auto attacks. Alpha Wolf is also in, and Muradin with more survivability now, so he realizes that he's, I mean, he is really the one that has to eat all the damage here, and he's been in trouble a couple of times already.
Yeah, tank killing has come online with level 16 achieved. Imperius has Melting Touch, no mercy from the Zul'jin, but it looks like Stukov Root's actually going to go down here. The taunt, but the 2-man Deckard sleep in the back, or the root, it looks like Plok is going to be able to get his ult off.
Dingo, baby! There's the hit. Greymane is down. The Riptire doesn't do enough here. They get the kill against Greymane. More stacks for Zul'jin, sitting at 20. The channel attempt here. Meriden jumping in. Does he get the Stormbolt? Does he have it? He goes for it, and he connects it with Crow. But Garrosh is there. Capybara with a save, but he himself might be in a bit more trouble. Nope, he's fine. Makes it out. Gets healed by Stukov. At the top right, still the attempt of Imperius to actually channel another altar. So 2 are still up on the map. 1 got already taken. And here's another quick connect. So 2 secured by the blue team, and they're trying to go for the triple as they're moving to the top. Attacking Blaze, locking him down. Bunker barely out in time, but I think he's gonna die either way, and indeed he does. Great plays here by Sexyplok as they are starting to turn that little snowball into an avalanche.
Yeah, Alpha Wolf from the Thrall doing big damage, but Imperius with the 2-man spear, praise the sun on the Junkrat. Gonna be falling low here and surely gonna die, but no, they turn around and get Zul'jin. Junkrat dying. Taunt gonna pull Imperius into the zone of death, potentially Crow on the Stukov, trying to kite out. Massive shove, actually pushing Muradin in, chunking him low, but Garrosh is gonna die as well. Sunder, APDO, they're diving behind their mid fort and they're able to get a full 5-man team wipe. 12 shots left. They're gonna go to boss here. They just have so much tank killing pressure with Alpha Wolf, with Ancestral Ass, with the Zul'jin. It's so difficult for this Blaze and this Garrosh to stay alive.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts right now. I mean, that team fight was total chaos here. It was pretty much just another 5-man wipe. Blaze dying initially, and then the rest of the team was trying to secure the altar. They get taken out. 12 points on the core. 8 single digits now. There's another 4 shots get fired. Nicely done here. Sexyplok with just some crazy plays over the last 2-3 minutes. And they are now heavily ahead in this game. Not only have they taken a small inexperience, but you look over to the points on the core and it's just a massive difference. I mean, it's Towers of Doom, so there's always comeback potential if you're able to get control of the game and can take some of these bell towers down. But as it stands, the blue team has taken full control.
Yeah, I mean, they've just won every single team fight, right? Like, there hasn't been a team fight that they've lost. They were mainly losing early game because they were getting out-rotated. But at this point, now that they have map control, it's really difficult. Riptire coming out, trying to clear up those pumpkin sappers. Are going to be able to. Mura falling low here. Is going to be able to use Avatar as well as Gladiator's Medallion. The boop into the trap. Are they going to be able to follow up, actually? Mura falling low. Is he actually going to live? Crow! Crow! The Imperious Spear!
He died! He died! What an interaction! We're gonna take another look at this. Muradin gets booped from right to left and left to right. The displacement is real. And then he survives, makes it out just for Greymane to turn around and kill him after all. Talking about killing stuff, topside keep has actually fallen. The bell tower is annihilated. Down here, it seems like Capybara might die. Makes it out. The Pumpkin's topside could connect with the core. That's a couple of shots potentially fight against Sexyplok as the team fight just rages on.
Yeah, but if they win this team fight and get the fort, this is a potentially GG. Kurasaku trying to cat out Plok, though, doing so much damage on the Zul'jin, killing that Blaze. Garrosh as well needs to be careful. If they get the Pumpkin, oh, I feel like they should hold the altar. I feel like they should hold the altar. If they get the cap, they would win. Plok still has Tazdingo looking for kills, going aggressive. He wants them. Did they? Oh.
Zul'jin down, they go for the second. 3 points have been taken off. Now another 3 are being fired. And well, that is 2 points on the core. So they're pretty much down to their last leg no matter what happens here. Another altar channel, a boss taken. That would end the game. Pumpkins connecting, of course. 1 stack, by the way, left for Zul'jin to complete his baseline. Can, of course, stack a little bit further. But him also having the Armani resilience, that's such a huge game changer for Zul'jin. I mean, Zul'jin's ult is already insane before and you can trade perfectly well. But once that you have the Armani resilience, it's just absolutely insane what you can pull off in a big team fight.
Yeah, Blink Sunder as well, potentially something to watch for. Thrall could go really aggressive. You know, look for a good flank. Level 20 Riptire, though. That's really, I think, like one of the big talents I'm going to be looking at. Praise the Sun. If he's able to get a really good reset or two, it really could potentially turn this game for his team.
To be fair, what was kind of cool yesterday was seeing Muradin getting enough stacks on his level 1 that a single Stormbolt with Sledgehammer took the Riptire down immediately.
What?
Yeah. With Sledgehammer combo, that was actually nuts. That shut the Riptire down just in its tracks. That was pretty cool, so that's a potential counterplay eventually as well.
Yeah, he's got a decent number of stacks, but a fight is breaking out here. Blaze falling low. He is going to be forced to use the bunker. The taunt actually stopping the Deckard Sleep, putting it on a 10-second cooldown, and it looks like it's a full retreat here. Riptire coming out. Imperious is in a really scary position, actually. He's really deep. That's going to be a dead Imperious. It's a 4v5 at this point. I'd expect to see Sexyplok just back up, have them give this altar. But, you know, they potentially, if they lost a team fight, they could get 6 cap. Their mid's
they can get everything
as well.
Blaze is already in the middle, and that's why they're still defending at the bottom. But that's a chance. It's a huge chance for the Mushrooms to turn this around now. If they get all of those bell towers, that would be insane. They're channeling the altar already. They want to get rid of it as quickly as possible, put them down to 20. Mid lane has been converted. They're moving to the top to at least retake 1. But again, this isn't over yet. That's 6 shots fired, actually, 19 to 2 points. And as we said previously, this map can be insane in the late game. If you are able to gain map control, you can start to trade bell towers against your opponent and really put the pressure on. And that's exactly what they're doing here. It's just bell tower trades, 6 days to Sunday.
Yeah, boss is up in 40 seconds, so that is always going to be a scary thing. Holding the bottom left fort is going to be really big for them, though. I would expect to see... They might just trade it. They might trade the bot fort for boss, as you know, boss is going to be lethal for Sexyploks, and Mushrooms may just want to take that off of the map. But it looks like they are going to be trying to pressure these 3 pumpkin sappers in. They do have Riptire potentially to look to do some damage. Ploks is going to be, you know, at 157 stacks now.
That's
so
Sledgehammer. Just murdering the pumpkins here. Muradin connects 1 shot and that thing is nearly down. Nicely done. Yeah, it's 28 stacks, not even all that much. I mean, you've seen much higher in this tournament, but even that's enough. So off we go. We got the boss back up on the map. 11 kills to 6. Again, you win a team fight, you go for boss, the game's over. So if the blue team wins one more fight, they can end the game here and take the 2-0 lead in the best of 5 series here in the tournament. And that's the main reason why the Mushrooms are immediately moving for boss. They have to posture around. And wow, oh my god, that's horrible for them. Double altar at the bottom and the boss at the top. 3 points that they have to secure now.
Yeah, that's really difficult. Luckily, they have Junkrat set up 2 traps as well as the Boob to keep sight of it. Mura rotating towards the bot side. Looks like Imperius actually going to be starting up the boss here. Red team going to be forced to walk up. They can't get this up. This is lethal if they lose this. And Jackpot is just playing one-on-one with the Murden. Doesn't want to let him get a free cap. It's going to be a 4v4 for the game. Stukov with the root on the Decker.
Oh, the insta-kill! The old man gets taken down. Armani Resilience, he's trying to trade. They take the shots. They fire it. The Mushrooms. Oh my god. Suljin in trouble. He gets the kill, although before he doesn't even die, but they get Stukov. Stukov is down. Can they get it for the channel? 2 autos at the bottom of the map. It's a 4 versus 3, and they are making the move. Muradin is already riding the pony to victory, or at least trying to. They need to slow down Greymane. They kill Blaze, and that's game. That has to be game. Channel at the bottom, channel at the top. He can't do anything about it. Here comes Garrosh. It's over. That is game.
The beast
2-0. The lead for Sexyplok in the best of 5 grand final.
Man, it looks so good for them. They had the Stukov root. They got the one shot, the blow up onto the Deckard. Like, they didn't have a healer. He didn't even get sleep or any of his spells off, and they still got that turned around. I mean, Plok on the Zul'jin just returning so much damage, as well as the Sunder coming out, allowing them to kill the Junkrat, as well as just chunking the Garrosh so low he wasn't able to actually stand on point very long. Game time.
Tomb of the Garden Curse, ladies and gentlemen, is map number 3. Completely new concept, never seen before, an objective that has been reworked. It's not in the slightest similar to Cursed Hollow or Tomb of the Spider Queen. Nothing that we've ever seen before here. Yeah, Team Plok, the Sexyplok boys, they've chosen it here as we're going into this. And yeah, we just talked a bit, and I still feel bad. I feel bad for the Mushrooms. They are honestly they're drafting well. They're putting up a good show, but they just can't get past the sexiness that is Team Plok.
It's overpowering. You know, the Zul'jin just shows up and like, what are you going to do? But I'm really curious to see what happens on this Garden of Terror, right? Sexyplok, they've whipped out a lot of unconventional picks so far, and they chose this map, right? Garden of Terror has just a endless possibility of, you know, unconventional picks that can work. So, you know, something like a Murky, something like a, you know, Zagara, Viking. So I'll be curious to see what happens. Imperius and Murden both banned out. I mean, that was their 1-2 rotation last game.
So the second time that they played Murden, and finally the Mushrooms are looking at it like, we're done with the shit. It's not happening. But the one thing that really, I mean, I guess it signals confidence, but Sexyplok is now looking at the 3rd Stukov first pick. So they're coming into this and they're just saying, like, pick your Stukov, we don't care. So they really think, hey, this might be top meta on the eastern side here, and most of the teams are trying to get rid of. I mean, we've literally seen teams when they are not in the first pick position just simply ban him out. They don't care. They're fine with it. They counterpick the Lucio here, and that is already scary because I don't know where they're going with this draft, but you could go into a composition with this that just runs away from the opponent and raises down structures the entire time and exploits the map.
I mean, I would love to see that. Honestly, I would be, because I've seen them team fight really well, and I feel like if I saw them play a really good macro game, it would definitely have me elevate them on my, you know, because it's like being multi-dimensional as a team makes you really difficult to play against, right? Because they banned your Muradin, they banned your Imperius, so they're not going to let you just do your normal CC chain team fight. So what are you going to do? And if they're able to, you know, get the macro, something like an Abathur could be absolutely terrifying. I mean, even like I like Illidan on this map. I don't know if that's something they'd potentially be interested in, but Raynor and Anub'arak coming out, I mean, super stallard, standard draft for the side of Mushrooms. I mean, those are 3 really strong meta heroes, but I'm curious to see what shenanigans we see and what the potential ban is.
Give me the slug, baby. Abathur.
I mean, yeah.
Big map, Greymane, copy. You have Symbiote on Lucio. There's nothing more annoying than Lucio with a Symbiote that just chases you down for hit points. Yeah. Like, it's one of the most annoying things here. So, yeah. I mean, right now, let's go. We got our bans. So, first of all, Junkrat is banned out. We also got a ban on Deathwing. We have this Anubarak Stukov setup again, which I really, really like, but this time they don't have the Greymane that comes with it, so that's a bit unfortunate. And, well, here comes the double pick. Sonya. Mal'Ganis. I still can see a slug here.
Yeah. I think a slug would be really good here, actually. Imagine, so the thing about Garden of, what do you call it? Tomb of the Garden Queen?
Curse. Tomb of the Garden Curse. You gotta get all three in.
Yeah, you gotta mesh them. Tomb of the Garden Curse is that it's pretty much guaranteed to go late game. The nature of the objective, right? You have to get 3 tribs. Once you get 3 tribs, it doesn't even push that hard. And if they get something like an Abathur, level 20 double hat will be really strong.
For sure. I like the Anubarak and Urel. That's actually Eastern Clash 2018 style Korean play with the Stukov behind it too. So that can be super powerful here. And again, when it comes to meta comps that they're drafting, Mushrooms are doing a great job here. Yeah. Granted, on the European side, you wouldn't see as much Anubarak as they're playing here, but still, if you're going for an Anubarak combo, that's it pretty much. And well, here comes the last pick. And it's Cassia time. Part of me is a little bit hyped because it's the first time we see Cassia in the Korean tournament. At the same time, I wanted to see the Slugger. Either way, Game 3 coming up. Keep in mind, everybody, this is the best of 5 series. So it could be the last map of the day. So let's head into it and see if Sexyplok gets it done once again.
Yeah, I mean, the Sylvanas I really like as well for Mushroom. I mean, it allows them to have a lot of split press, a lot of macro. Like if Sylvanas is ever, you know, let's say the trip spawns bottom, Sylvanas is just splitting top, they're going to have to respond to that. And, you know, vice versa, I bet we'll see Plok doing something similar on the Greymane. I mean, it looks like both teams are kind of just setting up for the 5v5 team fight, and they both have a lot of, you know, PvE merc pressure. I think the Cassia Sonya Greymane does have the slight advantage, so they should be able to get mercs out faster if they are, you know, kind of in position and fast on those rotates.
Okay, yep, let's go. So we got Cassia in. Yeah, I'm a little bit hyped for this one because I want to really see. Also, the Mal'Ganis. I mean, we had a time where Mal'Ganis was absolute meta. Now we have him here again. Could be kind of cool to see how they approach that. But yeah, game on. So Game 3, party time. We have on the left side Mal'Ganis and Sonya, this time rocking the front line. The damage brought in by Cassia and Greymane and Lucio to support all of this from behind. Mushrooms on the other side, they have of course a lot of catching up to do. If they want to win this tournament, then they need to win 3 in a row now and go for the full reverse sweep. We got Crow on Stukov. Capybara is playing a Anubarak. Praise the Sun. That's actually interesting to see him on the Urel. That's actually something I didn't really expect here. He was always the damage dealer for the team. I would have expected him maybe on the Sylvanas, which is now played by Jackpot, and we have Apto on Jim Rayner. But it's kind of interesting to see Praise the Sun on a Urel. We've seen him mainly on Kel'Thas. He played the Li Ming previously, and I think in the game before he was on Junkrat, if I'm not mistaken. So what do you make of that?
I mean, it tells me that one of them has a hero pool problem, right? Like, or I don't know if it's a problem. Like maybe he's Urel God and maybe that's why they have him on it. But generally, having your offlaner swap to, or your range DPS swapping to offlane is generally not something you'll see that often. But I mean, Jackpot, I think has been a super solid offlaner. So I think it is probably more that Praise the Sun doesn't play Sylvanas or Raynor, and that he's more comfortable on his Urel. Just because I do think when we've watched him, I think he's really good on a couple of heroes. But it feels like, you know, maybe he does unconventional builds or not as solid in some of those other range players or heroes.
Yeah, like, I mean, with unconventional builds, like we've seen one that was the Li Ming, but I feel like outside of that, he was really solid. And I mean, even on the Li Ming, I feel he played the Li Ming on Battlefield well given the build. I think the build was a total fail, but like with that build, he got the best out of it that he could. It's just that it doesn't work out against the composition that they were up against. I mean, there was a bit of an idea of, hey, they have a lot of melee, maybe can get something done with the AWP there, but they could never really secure kills to provide resets for her, so that was a problem. But the execution that he had was solid. So now that we're seeing him in the offlane, I'm pretty interested to see what he can do with this. I mean, we got on talents, as far as we have some, we got the Furious Blow currently in for Sonya on the level 1 side. So we've seen that before. And also Mal'Ganis this time with the Winged Guard, Greymane with the Viciousness here. I mean, I kind of feel like their setup is also pretty strong now with Sonya and Greymane potentially rotating with Lucio for some structure damage. I gotta admit that I like combos that rotate around heroes or around teams a little bit on a big map. It was honestly at the last BlizzCon that we had one of the best things that I thought came from Tempo Storm, which is also why I was pretty tilted when they didn't really use those combos in games that actually mattered. I think they used it once in the group stage and rotate around one of the Korean teams and nearly won the game, and then just like completely dropped the entire strategy from there on out and went for full-on meme builds.
And is that the Lucio that you're kind of talking about? Because he has fast rotate speeds and able to, well, wherever the fight is, he'll be able to get there and kind of help him out.
Yeah, exactly. And just like rotate away, attack structures, play around the opponent a bit. And when Tempo Storm played that in the BlizzCon group stage, they did really well against teams that were much stronger than them on
Tempest,
paper.
I think, right?
And I really liked that. And they never busted it out again afterwards against weaker teams, which was, I think, a huge mistake. And instead went for this like murky Samuro bullshit that they played.
Yeah, you know, good old NA days. You know what I'm saying? To take me back.
Yeah, but you know, as a caster, I was tilting because their strats were so good, some of them. And but either way, that is something that could happen here to an extent. It's not the same situation, but with Lucio, you can empower Greymane rotations, for example, and get him on structures. On a big map like this, with also a lot of camps, there is a lot of potential to pull that off.
Yeah, and it looks like, speaking of camps, both teams can be, you know, backing up, taking some sieges. Crow and the Rainer are going to be taking bottom siege. Plok going to be taking the middle siege. I'll be curious to see if after this, if he goes towards Knights or if he goes towards the other siege. Okay, it looks like he is going to be looking to pressure. Okay, they're actually invading here. 3 heroes, 3v4. Cassia.
YOLO, baby! Stukov in trouble. Cassia too. Can they get the kill? This is 3v4 now. They're gonna get murdered. They're gonna get completely crushed.
Oh no.
Okay, the game starts with a quad kill against Sexyplok. Yeah.
That's a bit disastrous. Yeah, you lose 3 heroes. I mean, luckily during all of it, Sonya was soaking. That's why we don't see a larger level lead. But you know, that's definitely not a good way to have it go. I mean, invading 3v4, they didn't really see people on the map. My assumption is they thought that they were on Knights, maybe thought that they were topside, being greedy. Which, I mean, yeah, it's a bit of a coin toss, right? You're like, you're trying to
it's a gamble.
The opposing. Yeah, it's a gamble. You're trying to predict the opposing team's behavior, and sometimes you gamble wrong. So it's like, I don't, you know, fault them for it. Like that's people trying to make plays. But both teams taking out their Knights here, and the trip is gonna be spawning in the next 10 seconds.
Yeah, and of course now you are level behind. You're 4 kills behind. Now, the saving grace, the silver lining is that it's early in the game, so the death timers aren't really too high, which means you can still come back into this. It doesn't change the fact that you are behind an experience that could easily lead to talent disadvantages. So Mushrooms now have a position that they could use to snowball this a little bit. It all depends on what they can do whenever they have a talent advantage. But Sexyplok, if they can get a few kills, then they can slowly make their way back into it. It's just not like they lost the game yet. But of course, this is a bit of a rough spot either way.
Yeah, Medallion first out on the Cassia. The Lucio is actually a bit zoned out from both of his supports. I feel like he wants to be playing on this bot side. Cassia falling low. Actually, maybe going to be able to turn around onto Jackpot, but not actually going to be able to do it. And this is going to be them probably just giving up the trib. Sonya had to clear out the top Knight pressure. Otherwise, they were going to lose their top wall. So, I mean, they end up giving the trib and they give 1 kill for it as well. But, I mean, not the end of the world. Again, Garden of Terror scales pretty much guaranteed. So as long as you don't lose too much structural damage or get too far behind, you should be okay and be pretty much guaranteed to get a late game team fight, which I actually think Sexyplok, they're going to be really strong once they start getting their, you know, ultimates, start getting level 16, level 20. They're going to be terrifying. Yeah,
good stacking on Cassia would help, of course, with this too. Having a bit more survivability for Sonya would come in handy here. And they definitely have chances, but the game is so far going in favor of the Mushrooms. 5 kills to 0. But you can already tell, I mean, just take a bit of a look at the experience. There is a lead for Sexyplok on minion experience. They got roughly 1,000 more. So the hero discrepancy, of course, favors Mushrooms. But generally speaking, they're not as far ahead in XP as a lot of people might have believed after the quad kill here. So this isn't over just yet. But it's definitely a good start for the team that needs to go for the reverse sweep.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is going to be the start of a comeback if they do win this game. Kirisaku has to be maybe a bit careful. Urel jumping in. Actually, a noob able to hit the double stun onto Lucio. This Dukov silence going to force out the gladiators, but very difficult to hit that elusive hero. And Lucio's going to be, oh, praise the sun. Not, that was so close.
Yeah, if he has the cooldown ready and he can just immediately go for the swipe, I think that's a kill. But they're still now playing around the top, trying to stack also Cassia up a little bit more. Still not a single kill for the blue team, but they're invading. They're going deep. They're going for Jimmy. And they can set him up again. Jimmy, he gets out. Jimmy gets out of the fight alive. And of course, the mushrooms are trying to turn it, but they are losing. Urel. Nicely done. Snappy calls here from Sexyplok. They can't get the kill against Jimmy. They immediately shift focus. They go for Urel and lock her down too. Well played.
Jackpot doesn't have E. He actually used it to stall, and I think he's going to lose his life for it. Nubrak, Eden as well, could potentially die. Oh, Crow. Actually going to get speared. Sonya coming in. Oh, not able to get... Wait.
The fend. That so just funny. Looked weird. That looked really strange. She's like poking at the gauge. She's like, let me through. I want the kill.
Like, please. I want to kill.
She's at 32 stacks, and they have actually taken over in experience. So yeah. They lost 4 heroes at the beginning of the game, and now they have taken the lead in XP. It's actually kind of nuts. And a lot of this comes from an advantage in minion experience. They just simply did a better job soaking those lanes.
Yeah, I mean, because when they lost the 4 kills, Urel actually rotated to the siege camp, and Sonya was double soaking during all of it. So I think that was a big part of why they weren't too far down. But level 10s have been achieved for both teams. Flailing Swipe, Cocoon, Ardent Defender, Willing Arrow, Raiders. And it looks like we're going to get Wrath, Sound Barrier, Ball of Lightning, Carrion Storm, and Go for the Throat. No Cursed Bullet, so they're not going to be looking to kill the Anubrak and Urel. Ideally looking to get on that Sylvanas, Rainer, or Stukov and kind of get a one-shot on a backliner.
Yeah, bot lane damage already. One of the towers is about to go down. Could get, yep, that's the hit. Lightning Fury comes through. We have one seed on each side, and another camp is about to be taken. That's a beautiful thing if you're running this comp that they have here now, because you have Sonya, who's good on the camps, you have Greymane, who's great in the same position. This map is a lot about map control, camp control, just getting the mercenaries consistently, and they are of course trying to do exactly that. Cocoon is out, by the way, so they are hoping to save Sylvanas here, who was in a bit of trouble, but the Nuburak was ready. Capybara not exposing her too much, and here comes the push with the camps now to the bottom of the map.
Yeah, it's a pretty big cooldown too. They may potentially look for a fight here. Urel does have rotate advantage, so could potentially be a 4v5. We see Praise the Sun coming down here. They want that 4v5. Urel's going to be there soon. Mal'Ganis going in, looking for sleep, and Urel has arrived, looking to push the Cassia back in. Is he going to be able to get it? Mal'Ganis is actually pretty deep here. Able to get the Carrion Storm, though. The penetrating rounds barely, just a millisecond too late. Not able to interrupt that.
Yeah, and Sonya is using the time that she has at the top to claim another camp for the team, so she's about to grab those siege giants, just as we have another seed spawning. And this is, of course, the seed that could put the curse on the blue team. Call the web weavers. The garden terrors.
I honestly kind of think getting the first trib on this map is kind of a troll, because you're never really going to get a second one, and I think a lot of times I see the team that gets the first one lose. ATGO actually getting gone on by the Sonya. Cassia as well, going in. Big Wailing Arrow.
Choke point, baby. Yeah, they go for Praise the Sun again, who hasn't popped his ult just yet. And can they get a little bit more here? The attack against Urel. Sleep Dart. Channel comes in, and they take it 2 for 2. Alright, last 2 go to them. And now the opportunity, of course, on the next one. Sylvanas going... Okay, for a second I was thinking if she might try and go for structures here. I think we have Sonya rotate to meet her. And now another camp push through the top, of course.
Yeah, 4 heroes posturing in the top side. Looks like Mushrooms may look to get this top wall. Level 13 is going to be achieved for them soon. Nubarak posturing. Plok and Ruje are going to be rotating up here. Level 13 is going to be achieved. It looks like they are just going to rotate out, looking potentially for the trib. They do want to secure that, as it will spawn the Garden Terror on their behalf. They do have rotate advantage, so I'd like to see them, potentially look for like an aggressive bush camp. But it looks like they are just going to actually go over towards their siege instead.
Yeah, 43 stacks already on Cassia. She's sitting at 20,000 damage and is taking top damage in the game. Talking about the scaling that we mentioned earlier. And again, 9 minutes in, 9.5, we've actually seen quite a bit of action already, but so far not a single fort has fallen. So there's that. And here comes the... that's the final one, so we're gonna see the Garden Terrors coming down for one of the two teams after this fight is over. Both have 2 out of the 3 that they need already.
Well.
Here comes the setup. Do they go for Urel? They're trying to get some damage in. Sonya isn't here yet, though.
Yeah, she's such a hard target to kill. This really is going to be 10 minutes into the game, 13-13. Whoever gets this trib is really going to be in the driving position for the next, 5 to 10 minutes of this game, as they will most likely get some forts, get some structures. Crow looking for a root, potentially Cocoon coming out onto the Mal'Ganis. Are they going to look for the engage? Cocoon pretty much wasted at this point. Stukov, Plok in the back on the Greymane falling low.
Greymane nearly down here, survives though, and they're trying to turn it again. Here comes the jump. Ball of Lightning is already out. They're making the play. Sonya is still a little bit late to the party. The Wailing Arrow connects, and the silences too. Could be the end of Mal'Ganis. Ruche moving out, escapes. Oh my god, as Urel jumps to the front once again. Pops her ult, stays alive. Nobody has died yet in this fight.
Oh. That was, what a barely, got out by the skin of his teeth. His Carrion Swarm got interrupted on the Mal'Ganis, but able to survive. Nubrak is going to get stalled. A lot of ults used on both teams. Go for the throw, and Carrion Storm still a big sleep coming out by Mal'Ganis. A 4-man. The Cassia follow-up as well, and the stuns. Raynor's surely going to fall. Who's next? Are they going to be able to get a kill on the Nubrak? Greymane needs to be a bit careful here. Praise the sun, looking for him. Wants to kill the Greymane the dog. I don't know. What's his name? Brain. Sonya going ham, going deep, and it looks like they're going to be able to cap the trip and get the Garden Terror. Khaldor, you just watched me, my brain stop working.
You just broke me. Sylvana's in trouble, by the way. She's just trying to escape. There's no way. She's down. Sylph is gonna die. Goodbye, baby. And we got the Garden Terrors on every single lane. The snowball is starting. The lead me experience for Sexyplok. Bottom fort about to fall in the middle of the map. A little bit of a battle between Sonya and Urel as topside. We're seeing a Garden Terror all alone pushing through the wall here. Bottom of the map is also in trouble as we have the Mushrooms trying to defend here. But things are definitely looking a bit rough at this point for the team in red.
Yeah, it looks like they're probably going to be able to get 3 forts off this, as well as maybe some damage onto the bottom keep. They're definitely going to get the wall. They're going to be level 16 soon. They may potentially look to pressure here, look for something more. Sonya finishing up that mid fort. Looks like they are going to get the radar. Okay, it looks like they are just going to back off, rotate over towards mid wall. I'd like to see him just go top fort. I mean, mid wall doesn't actually do as much as clearing up that fort. Level 16 achieved for Team Sexyploks. Praise the sun, forced it back, needs to get mana, which means if they do go up here to the fort, they won't be able to defend. Raynor is going to show on bottom as well. Yeah. This is potentially a scary situation. Jackpot walking up. Mal'Ganis flanking, Eing in. Actually, no E for Sylvanas. Jackpot.
Oh my god, that was... Why do that? No 16, and again, it's one of the situations that you nearly save and then it spirals out of control because of one mistake. Like, this is the problem with that double wave. You oftentimes feel that you can easily jump out, but of course, they know what's gonna happen. They see her jump in, they know that she's gonna move out again, and they just wait for her right there. Now they have the 16, but it doesn't help them at all because 2 of their heroes are down, so the fort falls, and they're going even for the wall here. Urel should honestly not do too much here either. If she is gonna die, a staggered death would be the worst thing that could happen to them now. They still are in a position where they can bring it back, but moves like this one topside, it's gonna make that so much harder.
Yeah, and now they're gonna get all of their camps pretty much invaded. They may allow them to have the bottom right sieges, but I mean, they're gonna have so much merc pressure as well as so much experience, right? Like if you take out the camps, it gives you the experience advantage, which means they are gonna be hitting level 20 first. This is team fight around this seed is really important for them. If they win this team fight, they potentially will be able to break it back into the game. I mean, the game's probably not going to end even if they give this up. They still will probably get a level 20 team fight. But if they win this next trip, it really will even up the game. Yeah. And they should be able to get at least 1, maybe even 2, and hopefully 3 forts.
The thing is that there's of course a lot of lane pressure coming in with all the camps that have just now been taken. So they can try and use that, but as you said, it's all about the top side right now. They're taking those defenders down immediately. They want to go for the channel. They have a double channel going on already, but the interrupt is there. Sylvanas jumping in. Nice silence from Stukov too. And here comes the Cocoon attempt. Did he just cleanse that shit out? Cocoon came in and he uses the medallion and Nuburak gets killed right away afterwards. Nicely done here. Lucio just popping off.
Yeah, Lucio smurfing with that Gladiator's Spear down. Sandberry going out, and Rainer's going to fall as well. Praise the Stun is one they're looking at next. Still has Ardent Defender, but doesn't actually use it in time to go for the throw. Kills the Urel before she uses her ult. 2 heroes are alive, and they're going to lose at least 1 keep. The question is, what else are they going to lose? If they lose heroes here, they could potentially lose the game. Very scary for them. Cassia rushing over towards the Sylvanas. And Nubrak's up in 10 seconds. Are they going to go for the core? It looks like they are not. They're just going to go for bot keep.
Actually playing it safe. Like, I did not believe that for a second. The way that they played game number 1, you remember that? That was, yeah, I expected them to dive onto it immediately. But they play it safe, better safe than sorry. They go for keep number 2. And now it's such an uphill battle for Mushrooms. This is actually crazy. It was difficult before, it's nearly impossible now. Jackpot again! Dude, you gotta be careful here. they got
Remember,
some
he is an
tools.
offlane. He's generally an offlane player, so it's like maybe, you know, maybe this is part of not having super comfortable on this hero. Maybe that's coming into play. Level 20 hasn't been achieved yet for Sexyploks. They are going to potentially force on here. Rouge is going to be doing a decent amount of damage. Sonya in the backside, 1v3, and Cocoon going out onto the Grey Main. Carrion Swarm, Jackpot falling low on the Sylvanas, going to try and E out, but the Cassia is in the spot. But Jackpot escapes.
Lucio, he gets the kill. Oh my god, Lucio kill. He is absolutely smurfing out of this world now. 20 isn't there yet. They still go for Jimmy. Jimmy is dead too. There's the 20 talent. They got their Storm talents. They pick them immediately and they're trying to go for the rest of the team here.
Sonya. Oh, she barely gets out. This looks like GG Plok if he lives as well. Surely this is going to be game over. Crow trying to do all that he can, but not going to be enough. I think that's the series. I think that's going to be a, 3-0 going the way of Sexyplok as they do get the 5-man wipe, securing the top keep. I mean, they have 20 seconds. Surely, I mean, Sylvanas has to 1v5 here, but I don't think it's going to happen.
Yeah, they're going for the core. And that is going to be game. That's going to be the 3-0 right here. Great performance by Sexyplok. 14 kills to 5. They make it happen. They took down TAT in the semifinals. And here in the grand final best of 5, it's a 3-0 victory against the Mushrooms. GG and well played as Sexyplok wins the tournament here on the Korean server.
Well played. I mean, definitely... Like, I was really impressed with them all of today. Like their team fighting is crazy. Like there's so many of those team fights where they get out, 10% HP, 5% HP, and you just see their heroes kind of bobbing and weaving. Ploks, I think, really was the standout player for me on their team. I mean, a lot of standout players, but he just really impressed me. His hero pool, right? Like we saw him pull out a Mephisto and absolutely carry. We saw him pull out a Zul'jin and absolutely carry. Having that broader hero pool really set your team up for success. And you saw people were consistently banning out his heroes, which just allowed his team to get other comfort picks that they wanted.
Yeah, and like a lot of the guys just like smurfed hard in these last games. That Lucio dodge was just like crazy. I had in the previous games a couple of great sound barriers and blocks, as he said. I mean, he is the number 1 on the... Usually I'm going into these and I'm just like, well, Storm League, what is Storm League these days? And Storm League in Korea always had the reputation a bit that you have some players that are absolutely insane, but there's also like a lot of riffraff over there. And I never really knew what happened after HGC with the level of play. But in Plok's case, I mean, he is definitely delivering here. They took out Team TAT and now this. So huge respect to those guys. I'm thoroughly impressed. Like, that was some crazy performance there. And they made it... They had so many crazy plays and just like calls. It feels like the shot calling and the coordination on them was just so incredibly impressive compared to a lot of the other teams that we saw that weren't bad either, but they were just not on the same level in this.
I mean, the confidence and the balls it takes to fucking game 1 versus TAT, right? The team everyone projects to win the tournament. I'm sure players that all of them have looked up to. And just 10 minutes into the game and you're just going to go on the core, right? They're up in like 10 or 15 seconds and it's the right call and they get it. Like, that's something that
nice call,
most teams,
BW.
even like HGC level teams would back up at that point. So it's definitely, I agree with you. Their shot calling and their decisiveness, I really think was, played dividends for them.
Yeah, like, that was actually something that surprised me as well. I mean, the two of us, we were actually talking about this. We were looking at it and we were saying like, hey, can you actually risk going for core here? You are leading in the game. Wouldn't it be safer for you to just like sit back? It's only 10 minutes in. Yes, they only have 3 heroes defending, but the death timers are so low that if you don't instantly finish this, you are going to go up against 5 versus 5 with the core. If you then die, all that you worked for is gone. And they just said like, nope, snap call. Nobody just like, nobody was fucking around with heroes. Everybody was just like, right click the core, go for the execution, and it was pitch perfect. And I don't know, like that is something where I've seen so many teams that even played in HGC made mistake in the past where they get like sidetracked by a quick fight. They feel they have to attack a hero, lock him down, then it doesn't work out. And like, I don't know, I'm just like amazed by how well they're playing this.
Yeah, I was really, really impressed with them today. Like I don't know. I came in today casting kind of expecting, Tat to be in the finals, and honestly kind of expecting them. I mean, you said they sped run yesterday, and I was like, oh, are they going to speed run today? And they got upset, and I think Sexyplok was definitely the best team today, and I think no one can make it. I mean, they went 5-0, right? Like they didn't even drop a game, and they had some close ones. They had some close series, but they were able to pull it back and win it. And I mean, what a grand final.
For sure. Brightwing Lover, thank you very much, and I hate you in the same time. I hate people trolling me with that trash fruit fly.
What the hell? Khaldor, I'm excited for you to be a believer once, a month from now.
I cast the BBJ already. I can appreciate that he plays a good Brightwing. I still hate the hero. So
okay. Fair.
But wait, now that we're done, before we head out here, you should go for some shameless plugs right now.
Some shameless plugs.
Like lay it on thick, please.
Lay it on thick. Okay, I mean, I can lay it on thick. First off, Khaldor, thank you so much. It was so fun casting with you. You're someone that I've always, looked up to.
Okay, that's like too thick, and we Germans, we don't like compliments.
Channel. There's a lot of great content
Talking about you, not me.
I know, Khaldor. I'm gonna get to me. I just wanted to, give you a shout out because I like casting with you. But guys, my name's michaeludall. If you enjoyed my casting, I stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/michaeludall. Also on Twitter,
fake dragons are eaten by Deathwing.
Recently, I'm an esports org owner. So my team 30K on Twitter is just 30K org. We're playing in the upcoming CCL season 1. Our players are really good. We got Hasuabs, we got Masquerade, BBJ, Liam, Sammy, Breakwood, a really, exciting roster. So if you guys are excited for CCL, definitely check out Team 30K. I appreciate you all for having me on. Also, check out my YouTube channel. I've been doing a lot more YouTube content, and that is also just going to be Michael Udall. Thank you so much for having me. And also, merch for 30K coming end of November / beginning of December. So
talking merch. Last time I heard
merch.
You lost a bathrobe bet, didn't you?
Yeah, I gotta make a bathrobe. I gotta figure that out. I don't know if the bathrobe will be in our first merch activation, but definitely gonna get Masquerade a bathrobe, and hopefully, I mean, I gotta figure out if I can fucking find a print shop that'll like print bathrobes that I can sell people. So dude, 100% getting Masquerade one. But
when I saw that on my timeline, I was like, the